We're gonna do a little update on situation in Ukraine. I haven't done a video on Ukraine already in a while, so from my perspective, from my point of view, based on what I have seen during MK and what I see is happening in real time, let me give you a little update on Russian annihilation of Ukraine. This doesn't look like invasion anymore. It doesn't even look like a special operation. It looks like something completely different. And honestly, when I look at this here, when I see stuff like this here, I am not going to be paying for your breakfast inside of my home. You're not going to get one. You're going to have to earn yourself one. It was enough of the freeloading. I'm shocked. I'm in shock. I'm surprised that things are turning very, very honest the way it was during the last stages of MK Ultra. This is all copy-paste from MK Ultra. Zelensky ended up convincing me how Charles is beneficial for Ukraine. I'm not going to say you're watching Außer Times or whatever. I'm not a media outlet or anything like this. I don't make any cent. This is just about the crime which is being enforced against me, and sorry man, but I refuse to see myself as this bear here inside of the zoo. I don't take this as a granted, this kind of stuff. This is actually a really good video because it reminds me on how they view me as, how they continue to view me as, and I'm also here to tell you that based on interaction I have with the people involved in MK Ultra, people from the US especially, I am not interested in any kind of deals with you. You know, you will remain, for me, as far as I'm concerned, this is a case of abductions, hijacking, torture, psychiatric killing, systematic extermination. And this is all the role you had with it. When it comes to the Hollywood, when it comes to the people at the top of the state, you are not allowed anymore to interfere with this stuff. I am pretty much have contacted you with those of you that did not reply me back. You are listed as a criminal suspects. You are not going to be coming out of the shadow and say, oh well, yeah, it did happen. Just for you to understand, you did not reply me or whatever, you're listed as a criminal suspect. That's all there is to it. You are in it to kill. And that's all there is. I'm going to give the names out. I'm going to point the suspects out. I'm going to make the list, release this stuff out, and God help you with your votes from Buckingham Palace. Because you said you're going to vote it on this case, right? That's how you want to say. That's how you want it. I'm going to force you into it. It's not about what you will be deciding about. You will do exactly as I stated here. Your deja vu with, oh yes, it was like this, no, it's not legitimate. It doesn't exist. Maybe it exists, but only in your heads. Yes, that means that you are a crime suspect in it. That means that you will be charged with attempted murder, torture, death threats, and all the stuff that you guys were involved in. That's all there is to it. So you don't need to worry about that stuff. It's like this. I see you don't understand any part of this stuff. I see that you did not understood any part of this stuff. And when I see this kind of stuff here, this doesn't sit with my stomach very well. You keep playing with this stuff simply because it's a part of your plan to do this. These are mind games. And I am not going to even say good for you, Zelensky, and good for you, Ukraine. What I will do to you is say like this. Pokrovsk is turning in Krasnoarmeysk. That's the Russian name for the Pokrovsk. This individual who wrote this from Delo was involved in it. And this is the article that dates way back in time. This was not released today. But this is the stuff that was released about a week ago or something like this, first time. I don't even understand what the hell is this year, January, February, March 11, or, well, actually November the 11, yeah. So that means more than a week ago. About a week ago is when this stuff was released. Yeah, the Russians are walking inside of the extremely important city known as Pokrovsk. It's not the biggest city, but it's extremely important city. And if you look at the news about the Pokrovsk, you can see the Pokrovsk is burned to the ground, which was very, for the 4 years, over 4 years now that this war is lasting. Actually, what we can do is we can actually look how long this war has been going on for. If you Google like this, Ukraine. Okay, so this is 1356. Divide this with a 365. And there you have it. Almost 4 years. It's not even... I thought it was already 4 years. It's not. Over 3 years and a half. Going toward the 4th year. Russians are annihilating the cities. The first round that comes is a heavy artillery bombardment of the city where the military is stationed. So they could not have food, they could not be served, supported. They make sure that they don't get warm meals, talking about Ukrainians. And systematically, after destroying the buildings, pushing the civilian population out, that's basically ethnic cleansing, they enter the city, and on a frequent basis, city with Ukrainian defenders left behind, just so those can be simply taken on interrogation to Moscow. I should say to Russia. This is a technique that we have been watching for 4 years. City after city, city after city. Always the same shit. Thanks God, I don't have to go to the military, is the logic in Ukraine. Thanks God I'm not the one who has to go on the front line. We see some people crying as they are deployed to the front lines, Ukrainian kids that are not even kids anymore. As long as I am not deployed, I don't give a fuck. It's all good. Хорошее. Everything nice. And with this politic thriving in Ukraine, Zelensky managed to destroy so far a good, decent portion of Ukraine. I think it's extremely important for me to demonstrate you this picture here again. And I am so pleased, I am just so glad that there is a man, hallelujah, who helped Volodymyr Zelensky with dealing with Donald Trump, interpreting Donald Trump rather as a friend of Ukraine rather than the enemy. I think I'm going to vomit almost, but I'm going to close this one down here. This one here is known as Mirnograd. So we're waiting for the Pokrovsk, for the Mirnograd to fall down and be surrendered to, it says here 2,000 Ukrainians are trapped. They're about to be captured, just like in Mariupol and all other cities, ready for the export to the Russia. So to me, this stuff here is of significant importance. That what matters the most is what you see right there. And hallelujah, as long as I'm not the one who's going to go to the front line, that is just fine with me. By the way, Volodymyr Zelensky Volodymyr Zelensky, by the way, you know, these pictures came out about this one here crying because he's deployed to the front lines, and of course the life is in danger, he might die, and so on and so forth. This issue was involved in MK Ultra, with my being literally deployed to the front lines during MK Ultra, with I did not even know who the fuck I was, crying like crazy, and I understood nothing about what the fuck went on, and I started to ask them what the hell is going on. And they started to tell me they're going to the front lines, and they intimidated, talking about Ukrainian Zelensky, talking about the British Charles who helps Zelensky understand Donald Trump, and of course about Americans have video recorded me. Eventually, over course of the time, they put me into hysterian state of mind with my also not wanting to die, because this is how they interpreted me. Have recorded me with others that I didn't want to go to die, or that I had to cry inside of the transportation vehicles and such a stuff. And so this isn't, you know, this is not that I would have, as Prince Charles suggested me with the Prince Andrew, with the Slovenian Robert Golob. They told me, you're gonna have a Rambo moments, so you're gonna go completely insane. You're gonna say, I wanna kill you, and stuff like this. This isn't the case that this will be the case. This is not precisely the case with me. I am not in a state of mind that I would have this kind of moments. Just experiencing, reviving basically the stuff that I just described to you about. This here is what American presidency is based on. Let me demonstrate you how you become American president, so that you get to see, that you get to understand, that you get to know how you become American president. how American presidents are selected and not elected. Let me demonstrate you. Let me demonstrate you how you become American president so that you will understand who I am. I'm going to explain to you how you become American president. You become American president like this. This is how you become American president. Exactly like this. Joe Biden was involved in it just as well as blonde mustache man could have been even teacher. Who knows? Clinton and other offered me a parcel, but he told me 91 would not because screw me. Location turned. I don't know where exactly on this page I did describe this stuff, but the way you become American president is, okay, it's right here. By giving you example from the people that were involved in this stuff. People arrange through my case a future real estate sales, future car sales, and even marriages. Especially future jobs. Yeah, I had to go to the interview with the neighbor Peterlin for the job he finally has now as a car salesman. The same shit was with my cousin from Austria who now has a job as a machinist on the Austrian railways. The same shit, the same stuff. I have been doing this kind of stuff also. Something, yeah, I mean, the thing is that the job interview took place over 10 years ago plus with my neighbor, and it wasn't much better with my cousin. Maybe he might have been even inside of the jail when he was doing the interview with the Austrian railways. Sometimes in 2017 or something like that, when the Austrian came here to Novo Mesto from Vienna, a minister, future, or was, whoever the hell that was, claiming me, he was always involved in MK Ultra, that is going to come out about Austrian offer pertaining to my job, railway job, as a train operator, and so that this is the kind of stuff I should talk about and this and that. Look, something that somewhat matched presidential agenda with the politicians meeting with one another in front of so-called journalists way ahead of actual political events. For even if politicians had gone long missing, those could appear as if current, you know, as if nothing ever happened because they video recorded themselves with the journalists. Same fucking journalists you get to see today are visiting White House, or Charles Windsor, or Zelensky in Ukraine. That's what they were doing during MK Ultra. And how actors, and actors is what I refer to as people like Biden, Trump. Ronald Reagan was an actor, wasn't he? Etc., etc., Obama, elected, selected as future presidents. I wanted you to understand what you are watching. I saw this from near. I saw this shit from near. And when I consider that they were doing this kind of ugly stuff to me, and the way they depicted themselves, when they couldn't even do a fucking thing without me. Entire Donald Trump presidency was based on this case, and my approval for one. In fact, extortion through the Ukrainian Zelensky. In fact, extortion through the British Charles. Extortion through other politicians. extortion through Democrats, Alexandra Ocasio, Bernie Sanders, Schumer, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, all the fucking Democrats, all of you who insisted me that you simply would just not click the button. The red button that's basically the nukes that would be directed into Russia. Insisting that the only such candidate that could do this, that is willing to do that stuff, was Donald Trump. And you actually there? No, I don't have the Rambo moments. I deal with this issue differently. You hoped I would have a Rambo moments, but I have different kind of moments. I'm a human being. Let me demonstrate to you. In 2009, 2010, Vladimir Putin insisted that Kiev will have to be nuked out of existence. Absolutely, they will have to be nuked out of existence. Inside of this room, where I'm at right now, living room area, where I told him Moscow also is going to have to be erased in that case. That has to be done. If Kiev is going to be erased, then Moscow also is going to have to be done. Things were, mentally wise, so sick. With Americans watching the stuff about that went on inside of this room from the outside, between me, between Putin, that at one point in time they entered the room and they started to con Putin. And told me on the side that they calmed me down. They told me that eventually they will nuke Moscow if they will have to. They calmed me down with those words. They said, of course we're not going to let that stuff to happen. Putin was acknowledged, labeled as mentally ill person. Sick, completely. 2009 and 2010. He was coming here for like 2 years to make himself, all his Rambo moments to release in my face. Then sometimes on 2 occasions, and more than on 2 occasions, they came to me and they told me that it's going to be part of the plan to bury as many Russians as is possible. The bad people, Russians that will be coming to Ukraine to kill, to rape. They refer to them as the criminals, but who the hell are criminals? The 2 criminals I know of, one is Datsik, and another one is another Russian who was involved, white Russian who was also involved in it. Those are the people that simply are ousted, sidelined, forced into robberies, forced into crime, locked up, destroyed inside of the prison system when they dumped them in. I'm not talking about only these 2 guys. These are just like really, really notable. One is Novoselov and the other one is Datsik. All of these guys were involved in it. A bunch of these guys from MA were involved in it. I told you, Emelianenko, all these people involved in it, talking about the Russia now. And the thing is that they kill people. They destroy people. They kill people mercilessly. You have to be really strong to survive the prison system. And they expose them to all kinds of practices that, you know, the worst one is that you don't have a ability to compete. You know, they destroy your career. They destroy you completely. They literally play with the people who is allowed to be on the stage as a sport person and so on. Disgusting. So that's why those guys in the prison guys, I'm not too, you know, much interested in those guys. But to me, the worst Russians are the Russians that are the type like Vojislav Šešelj or Alexander Vučić. The intellectuals that poison people, that, you know, ordinary people that look normal people, but will take, on Saturday and Sunday, they'll take snipers in their hands and they'll go on a front line to kill people if they live nearby or whatever. People that are sick, that just want to go out there and, you know, kill them. Kill the Ukrainians just, you know, for the heck of it. That's the kind of stuff that I'm worried about, that people with a social status within the society that do that stuff. And so when they told me that it's going to be a bad blood, that they're going to just open korek, they say Polish, a pipe, and let that pipe empty itself, that they'll get people like this from around Russia, they're going to send them to Ukraine to be buried, killed on the front lines. It made me feel good, especially after Zelensky told me, he said to me, well, and then what's going to happen is we're going to nuke Moscow at one point in time. And so the entire work of Vladimir Putin is just work of leaving enormously a lot of corpses behind. Bad Russians basically killed all over the place. Those that want to fight, that want to die, that want to kill Ukrainians. And in the end, this isn't going to be even what it will be deciding. It will be a strike on nuclear strike on the Moscow of a minor size, not the one of Nagasaki or Hiroshima size, but a minor size on what Vladimir Putin, actually Kremlin, not Vladimir Putin, is going to be given an option to either select complete annihilation of the Russia or stop it right there and leave basically occupied parts of Ukraine. This stuff was given to me by Zelensky after Americans gave me the plan, talking about Donald Trump, Joe Biden, talking about American leadership that gave me the plan on how they are going to mediate, deal with the Russian insanity so that, you know, Ukraine can gain back their Crimea and Donetsk, you know, with Russians signing unconditional, of course, surrender, that kind of stuff. You wouldn't be watching me today talking to you about this stuff. Today is November the 11th of 2025. You wouldn't be watching me today. We wouldn't be talking about any of this stuff today. But when I see stuff like that, I don't have choice other than to deal with it. And like I said, I prefer not to deal through the Rambo moments. I prefer to deal with these issues in a completely different way. So, yeah, this definitely is November the 11th of 2025. You can trust me. And that's exactly how I deal with this kind of stuff. This was supposed to be a secret. So you hear me talking to you about this great secret only because of one thing. You hear me talking about this stuff only because simply the Ukrainian cities are falling one after another. And I did spoke to you about Vladimir Putin and Zelensky meeting inside of this house and dealing with one another in a special way, but basically Zelensky throwing to the Russia Ukrainian prisoners and Putin promising exactly the contrary to Zelensky by sending the bad Russians in a warfield to die. I think that's a big news, don't you think so? Because it looks to me that in the top of the leadership between Zelensky and Putin there is actually not even a war that goes on. You don't think so? There will be a lot of Ukrainians right now, the best Ukrainians, those of you scum Ukrainian that don't want to report to the military, that don't want to go and overthrow Zelensky by reporting yourself to me. Those of you scum, thanks God I'm not the one who have to go to the front line. You scum are the one, your collective conscience is the one that continues to do exactly what I explained in this video. That's basically sending as a prisoners to the Russia best of Ukraine. This isn't about Zelensky anymore. We did have this kind of talks before. I did explain to you about what's going on, what went on, and 0 steps have you taken in respect to Zelensky, in respect to what you see is going on with the Donald Trump, who, by the way, yes, he started again to do the tests, right? He started to do again the tests. He started to do again the stuff. Geez, maybe I'm just the one who's gonna fuck this up. And now everything is gonna fall apart because of me, just as Zelensky claimed that's gonna be the case. But why the fuck is this case? It's almost 4 years that passed. Why do they have to continue to see these types of shipments to the Moscow? Are this not the people that you are about to ship again to the Russia? Are they less worthy than you, Ukrainians throughout Ukraine? You feel good about Charles III making Zelensky feel good so much that you don't really give a fuck about them? Do you actually hope for some kind of miracle to take place? Maybe, but I am not going to be your miracle. I am not going to be one of your miracles that whom you are shipping right now again to Russia. Yeah, every fucking day something can happen to me. Eventually, truth about Zelensky never ever will come out. True about you, about your collective Ukrainian conscience never is going to come out like this. Mi mama se fančeva me prava ne. That's a Slovenian song that said, we are having a great time, whether you like it or not. I don't like that kind of song. I'm in it for the work. And when I consider this, to be part of the Zelensky work. I am forced to even make other choices in life that otherwise I would not make. Zelensky is the man who is very much deserved for the psychiatry in Slovenia, just as Charles III, Donald Trump, I should say US government, because American presidents, just like Ukrainian and all other presidents, are not elected, but they are selected based on the national needs. Whichever candidate fits best to the certain needs. Remember? Just as I told you right here. Watch this. This is very good paragraph. You're gonna understand this stuff? You're gonna understand absolutely everything, man. Stuff that you have watched, that we have watched in respect to Ukraine, video recorded. This shit goes back all the way to before 2010. Zelensky-Trump meetings. And they were not rehearsed once. Talking about single one of those meetings that you watched with them. They rehearsed them on several occasions. Each and every one of them with the journalists in presence. There is absolutely no doubt that these people know something that I don't even know. There is absolutely no doubt about it. But I'm not that smart that I would be guided by the MK Ultra intuition, that's basically, in a parenthesis, intuition, brainwash, which they instilled in me on how I have to wait for the coconuts to fall down of the tree so that I'm gonna have. Because freedom doesn't come from it doesn't fall from the tree like an apple. That stuff doesn't happen. If Americans had a serious intentions about this stuff, they would have already done it. Something already would have happened. And based on what I see and simply see and continue to watch. Another one is Mirnohrad. This is another city, very important city by the city, that they are being sliced up.
Petrovsk direction in the eastern groups.
This shit here, this shit goes back 8 days ago, just like you see it right there. Somehow, at mainstream media front pages, none of this stuff is happening. They don't demonstrate anything. So what exactly are we waiting for? Are we waiting for paychecks? Rebate paychecks, $2,000 rebate paychecks from the so-called trade success of Donald Trump, which also was negotiated? I'm sorry, but this is not, this is a scam, the whole thing. It's a tremendous scam. And it's a nasty one. So I don't see myself as this animal here. I don't see myself like this. These people are fucking crazy. To them it's funny that animal, and they haven't done this one-to-one only once, they have done this on several occasions. Yes, finally outside on the air after 27 years of imprisonment. I don't know how long bears live, but not much longer than 27 years. I'm not the bear. I'm not a moon bear. You're not going to be fucking with me. You can fuck with the people that you're fucking with dying on Ukrainian front lines with your pulling sick shit to sicken people even more for the purposes I explained to you in this video. But you're not going to be doing this stuff to me. I'm not this guy here that you see. You have very, very, very mistaken me. And when I said you're girls, Charles, you're not a male, you're not a man. nor is Donald Trump, and nor is Zelensky. You barely qualify for the girls. None of you is men when compared to me. I'm not in your rank, and you're nobodies. You are entitled public clowns, public figures, with your mainstream media that depicts you, that streams you all over. But when it comes to you as you, you're fucking nobodies. And you're trash. After Pokrovsk, Kup'yansk falls next 70%. This is yet another Ukrainian city. So we continue to watch Zelensky prepared a big, beautiful gift for Putin. It looks like Putin is going to this time seize several of the cities, and Donald Trump is going to have so much greater chance to come to the peaceful resolution. While at the same time he is with Vladimir Putin based on MK Ultra brainwash. Both of them are. They are squirming with the nuclear bombs. They talk about the testing nukes and this and that. And so I know exactly which part of the brainwash, which part of the lies they try to corrupt me, silence me from exposing the stuff that you see. If Americans had that, they would have already get it done. That's one thing. And the second thing is lives of valuable Ukrainian people that are about to be shipped to the Russia like a cattle are more important than lives of those of you scum that thank God that you don't have to go to the front lines, or your kids or whatever. Privilege, garbage. I was just not like this. I didn't have life like this. I had a life of dog. So I don't go for this stuff. The energy greeds are supposedly interesting to the Russia, and I don't see how not. Vladimir Putin and Zelensky were interested in entire Ukraine, not only in the Donetsk, Crimea, and the area which was taken over by the Russians since 2022. We have another city here. His name is Kramatorsk. He is also becoming cremated. All these cities were negotiated between Zelensky and Vladimir Putin inside of our house. We have another city here. We have entire region, in fact. It's called the Sumy region. 500 strikes in a week. Russia is massively attacking, basically breaking, crumbling Ukraine. So we have several regions, several cities. I did not mention to you, and Slavyansk. I'm talking to you about all the stuff they don't demonstrate you in the mainstream media that is being decimated, basically burnt, because this is the preliminary step before taking the city over, without absolutely any kind of retaliation. Retaliation was saved by Volodymyr Zelensky for the end of it. See, Volodymyr Zelensky planned on not retaliating against Russian citizens because it would make Ukraine look very bad, killing civilian people, Russian. That's not just. You're a sick man. This is what I was when I told them that nukes needs to ring within a month or two of war on Ukraine as a retaliation, as a peace procedure. Very sick man. But Zelensky saved attacking Russian civilians for, you know, like you polish something, so it's nice polished. end of the war. That's basically when Vladimir Putin gets already so much of the territory and he says, no, I don't want no more. That's when Zelensky starts throwing bombs and killing civilians. So that those people, the United Nations that signed the truce and that kind of stuff, Ukrainians also killed Russians and so on. So you think that this is okay? You think the stuff that you watch and you continue to watch, this is good? You're on a good track with the Vladimir Zelensky, with a Charles number 3, right? It's a Charles number 3. Number 7 was an asshole donkey from this Grizzly Adams. I think it was number 7 or number 8. I'm not sure. You think you're safe with the clowns, with their so-called journalists, and what you continue to watch in the media, it makes you feel good about you're not being sent to the front line, about you're not asking the questions that actually matter for your existence, for your tomorrow. This is not even about Ukraine alone. This is about entire Europe. This war in Ukraine concerns Portugal, which is located on the other side of Europe, just as much as it concerns Ukraine. This is a war in Europe. And you would be bloody stupid if you would give all the minerals, the most fertile land in Europe, and overall huge country with a lot of people, with lots of people, with a great prosperity, chances for prosperity, European inclusion from all other member states, to the Russians. Actually, this is supported tremendously by North Korea, and I understand other countries in Asia too. This is a war in Europe. This isn't a war in Ukraine. This concerns Europe more than it concerns anybody. And this, if it's important to America when it comes to Europe, obviously concerns also United States of America. And the way things are going, they're just not going in the right direction with politicians, based on my experience, that were inside of this home here, because of whom Donald Trump became the one that is doing his little affairs right now, and, you know, so that he could polish his genocide in Gaza and all that stuff. I don't think that this is toward me. This is definitely not fair. The clowns that I see, I don't like any one of them, but moreover, these clowns are not producing. They're not productive. They're exactly counterproductive, and the way things are going is exactly about the stuff, the way I explain on the blog, is heading to disaster. And even greater and greater and greater and greater disaster. I don't understand where the hell this shit ends. Oh yeah, Donald Trump stated that this will end with a great cooperation between the Russia and between the United States of America. Oh yeah. I like those promises of Putin, how he's going to nuke London and Berlin and Paris and stuff like that. I like that, man. Putin loves you. Putin fucking loves you, man. He want to send you one over there right to Washington, D.C., but you shouldn't worry about that stuff because you're not from the Washington, D.C. Just to be a little bit on a Rambo humorous side. You seems like people do not understand about what the fuck goes on. You are complicating it. You are taking it to a different sphere, this whole thing. You want... I even heard people talking about who started the war in 2022. The war was not started in 2022. The war was started in 2014. The Russian invasion on Ukraine. And moreover, the war on Ukraine was started upon the Ukrainian independence. Remember, you didn't take one. You didn't take one into NATO. You didn't take one into European Union. And I'm gonna say to you, thanks God you didn't, because I was the one who was paying for the Ukraine. I was the one whom you tortured, used for espionage throughout Ukraine and throughout the Russia, both sides, Russian and NATO side, Ukrainian I should say. Here I am, nobody, with the same certificates of the lunacy from 2012, still waiting to be recognized by the Hollywood people, by the stars, by the rich and famous. Right? Scum? You seems like you are not comprehending at all about what the fuck you did. My view is not concentrated on truth with you. My view on you, scum, is concentrated on the justice done. Now, I don't give a fuck about who is Michael Jackson. I don't give a fuck about your rich and famous, your garbage, your propaganda that you're using. I don't care. I'm interested in one thing. Get this case done. And from what I have seen, you're not eager to get this case resolved in any way. You're eager to get my father killed. He's almost 94. And you're eager even more so for me to get killed. Yes, I am already 53. But you did fuck me entire 53 years, scum. This isn't about the rape. This is about the Epstein. This isn't about raping girls. This is about raping human conscience. Taking advantage of trust given through the human conscience. This isn't about even treason. It's not even about the slavery. This is about a crime that is worse, much worse than a homicide, much worse than a murder. 1,000 times worse than a murder. And this is about you. This is about you having it your way, the way you would like this to be, regardless of the truth, regardless of the justice. Because you are just Americans, aren't you? And you have to stick together. And if it's a crime, you have to stick together because you are Americans. Epstein's crime was not a pedophilia. I should say Prince Andrew, Prince Charles, Prince Andrew, because it's only Andrew they have. Even the Charles wasn't really much better than Andrew. He screwed around too. His biggest crime, scum, and it applies to every fucking one of you. This isn't about the justice perversion. It's a bunch of justices. Oh, it's a Supreme Court. No. This is saying shit like it applies to Ukrainian people today. This is about each and every one of you. Biggest crime of Andrew was not taking care of the girls he was with. It's a very personal thing to have a sexual relation, even more sensitive when pedophilia is involved in it. And I say so because I have seen children who didn't mind pedophilia. Hardly, however, I can imagine person, if in position that he could help. Hardly, however, I can imagine a person so insensitive. And sensitivity goes based on your social standing. Hardly I can imagine a person that has gold sitting in a Switzerland. Mountains of gold. These people have mountains of gold. Unlimited real estate in Canada, in United States of America, Australia and New Zealand and so on and so forth. Not to mention Britain. Hardly fuck I can imagine. You know, the younger the person that you're taking advantage of, and what is under criminal law categorized as a pedophilia, as a serious, very serious offense, in fact. Hardly can I imagine a bigger disparity, a bigger, more disgusting thing than the failure to make sure that the kids that you have slept with, that you have taken advantage of, not being taken care. In fact, pushing it so far so that shit would start to surface on into the public, while dealing in the back with these kids, obviously jammed by the societies because they wanted a little bit scandal, and that's how you brokered the truce with them inside of our house. You were meeting with them. Hardly can I possibly imagine a scum that would not be interested, that would watch these kids fall apart, being destroyed by the society and so on, basically without making sure that they would go through the life with a family, husband, children, jobs. Doesn't even have to be a super wealth. Didn't even have to be a super wealth, but just being taken care of like other people. Hardly can I possibly imagine stuff like this. Yet we have this kind of shit. We have this kind of stuff. And we even have much, much, much worse than pedophilia. Based on what you have seen on my own case. When you were all taken together with the British Royals, with the Washington Congress, with the Congress, advantage of subconscious, brainwash, manipulation, terror, torture, trauma, for no less than 48 years. Hardly can I imagine this kind of attitude, voracious attitude, that exceeds crimes of homicide for at least 1,000 times. Yet this is who you are, Americans. This is what you like. You like your rebates. You like your deals. You like your swinery. You call it a democracy. You just like it this way. And it doesn't matter, even if it exceeds crimes of, this is just individual crimes, right, of the Joseph Stalin and so on. And not so individual, because I'm not the only person that you have gone after. I am just the one that pulled you enough deep in it and started to expose you at the right time for the world to understand how to pursue, basically, when they deal with people like myself, when you destroy them, when you kill the people, before turning them into homeless, before killing them, and all kinds of stuff that you do. Station them inside of all kinds of institutions and so on. Hardly can I imagine this kind of attitude as a part of the democracy, as a part of the liberty, freedom. That you go and extort with a silence fucking insane, beyond fucking insane stuff that you have committed yourself to for the sake of your dear leaders like those that you see right here. Hardly can I imagine this kind of stuff. For me personally, it's not going to be enough to see these people at the entrance of my door. I'm not interested in seeing this scum at the entrance of my door. I'm not interested in meeting you. I'm interested in a police. I'm interested in a persecution of these people. I am alive because these people miscalculated. I'm not alive because of these people. These people have done properly, based on every rule of killing somebody. They haven't done anything that could spare me. I ran twice, no less, after I was even thrown to the psychiatric hospital in 2012, after 40 years of torture, through forced unemployment. I was even thrown into the psychiatric hospital in 2012 and then again in 2015. These people were not only eager to throw me inside of the hospital, these people were eager to kill me. And that's how in 2012 and in 2015, psychiatric hospital, and in 2016, my escape from Slovenia to the Hungary without any money, practically broke. Attempted escape to Moscow, after filing a dozen political asylums, including Norway and Sweden and Austria and Belgium and Germany and Canada. Attempted escape, which ended, however, in Ukraine and finally in Belarus. But this is fucking insane, that you have to do stuff like this as an American citizen who was used by the NATO for so long. Attempted escape in 2018. These people were not interested in saving me. In 2018 again, through the Slovakia, where I traveled to file for political asylum, ended up in Poland. These people were not interested in helping me out. None of you were interested in helping me out. So when I see you the way many of you interact with me, through your U.S. government, the way you're going to say they not allow us, that's what you were coming here, you not allow us, and so on. You're not my friends. For me, it's a very clear choice. A police sirens, blue lights, getting you scum by the throats and placing you behind the bars. That's my priority. I'm not interested in identifying you scum. With every one of you scum I identify, in return with a silence. The only thing that happens is it deepens the silence. Because when you're going to talk to me, I'm not going to talk to you. So I'm thrilled. I'm glad that things are going so well for you. I'm thrilled with it. But I refuse to be silent in the face of what I see is not happening only to me, but to other good people. I'm not going to stand by. I'm here to alert, I'm here to warn where, how they're doing this stuff, what exactly they're doing this stuff. I'm applying to you, the people who care, to stop this. It's not a perversion of the justice. It's a perversion of the population. It's a perversion of the Illuminati population. They just don't know anymore on how to betray, how to lie, how to kill, how to murder, and they kill millions. There will be no decisive actions against Moscow. They are waiting for something else. They are desperate. They want to silence my voice. They want to make this here disappear. They don't know what to do with it because it's difficult, because the stuff that comes out is extremely difficult for them. They're not out there to help. They lie to every one of us. And every day it's people who get killed because of this. And I refuse to stand by and continue to watch this in a silence. Talking to myself here about the lies that you brainwash me with on how to see things as allow for people to, based on historical lies, because this is what this shit here is that I just demonstrated you. That's exactly what this stuff is. What I demonstrate about Zelensky and Charles. When I mentioned to you about the Zelensky and Charles, this shit here, this shit is gonna stay here. They build a world of lies. They build a legend that does not exist. And they make real people disappear, annihilate. This is my website. It's an old one, and the internet was flooded with it. It no longer exists anywhere. I don't allow to go like this through the fabric of the time, like my friend here stated, from Italy. I don't allow to go like this with one picture to be carried away for the sake of news like this. You're not gonna cover the world with this shit. You're not gonna cover this. You're not gonna return me with a silence, scum, murderous American scum, Hollywood scum, MMA and the rest of it. You're not gonna cover like this. This is not how you're going to deal with me. You're not going to come, hey, hello, buddy, and this and that. We're not doing this stuff here. I refuse to be part of your statistics. I'm not one of you, and I never ever was one of you. I'm different. And I'm real. That was a serious mistake I have made. I refuse for the news, the way you see it here, to cover this thing here. I refuse to be part of the statistics. I don't allow this to be the case with me. That's all I have left, is this here. One thread. This is what I have now. That's how they present me, and that's basically how they present themselves. I refuse. I totally refuse any of this stuff here. I refuse your violence. I refuse you. I am against you. You are against me. You're FBI. You're CIA. You're Hollywood. You're MMA. All of you in the United States of America. You don't return back. Because you think you're going to deal with me in a different way, you murderous scum. The thing is, you will not. I refuse this stuff. I'm not part of you. I don't see myself in you. This is not your home. You are not inside of your home. You barricaded yourself. You are domestic terrorists from Slovenia. And it's not even domestic because I cancelled Slovenia. You are terrorists barricaded with the Slovenian police inside of this house, inside of this home. You are terrorists barricaded in Miami, where I was. Barricaded in Sweden, in Norway, in a hostels, wherever I traveled. You are thieves. You are thugs. You are criminals, murderers. And I cancel you. There will never be between us, hello, how are you today, and this and that. Long time no see you, nice to see you again. I cancel you. I completely cancel you. I'm not part of this stuff. I was not part of this stuff. I was a hostage. You are a terrorist. You engaged in violence inside of this home. You created a picture. You created a mirror. Your actions were those that spoke for you. You are not part of me, and I'm not part of you. That's why I ask police to do your job, because you're never going to see me talking, negotiating, having absolutely anything to do with these people. I don't work for them. It was a crime. It was hijacking. It was torture. And they have absolutely nothing to do with me. That's all I gotta say for this video. About the Rambo moment. About the Rambo moment, if I summarize that stuff. Today, if you approached me today, like the way you did during MK Ultra, I do fucking kill you. Of course, talking about to you, Charles, talking about to you, Trump, talking about to you, Americans, to the CIA, to the British, MI5, to all of you. Today, I do fucking kill you. Today, if I found myself in the same element that you had me, I would do my best to kill you. I'm not ashamed, I'm not afraid to tell you about my Rambo moment. This is not Rambo moment though. This is about my realizing exactly with whom I was dealing with all along. And of course with my having the right to say so. Because I say so, because it was not somebody else who said so. Because I said so. And you know already who I am. It's enough that you don't have the proof that the stuff stated on my blog, based on evidence I provided, is not true. So that's why I said I. Of course I could not kill you because you have guerrillas all over the place. They keep you safe and they do their best. But I'm saying to you that things between us are completely indifferent from Vladimir Putin, from the Russians. Actually, they're not. Today, they're very different from entire past. Because today, you can't prove me wrong anymore. And because you can't prove me wrong anymore, you couldn't repeat the stuff that you did in the past, not even for one fucking minute. I would love to get killed today during MKUltra. I would love nothing more in the world to be subject to MKUltra and be killed. Nothing more. Things aren't the same. Things are very different. There is your Rambo moment. But I need to express this Rambo moment because I need to specify for you to understand. There is no agreement between me and between you scum. There is no agreement. There was blah 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 that we have agreement. We have no fucking agreement whatsoever. We have no agreement. None. Zero agreement. The only agreement we have is basically the stuff that you continue to watch. That's the only agreement we have. The stuff I continue to alert, warn about people, point out the stuff that went on. Remind your $2,000 rebate conscience about what you did, what you committed, and what you continue to commit. There is no fucking agreement. Not between me, between Democrats, between the Republicans, between a single fucking individual inside the US Congress. I don't have a fucking agreement with absolutely any one of you scum. With single one of you. That's all I wanted to say about this video. Do not try to misinterpret, do not try to lie to anybody. Do not try to depict anything for what is not, because it's nothing other than what I stated in this video. And it will never be any other. The law enforcement is the law enforcement that involves the police, prosecutors, law enforcement agencies such as FBI, CIA, with individuals who are solely interested in facts pertaining to the people involved in such case as I exposed on the blog. That's all there is to it. That's the only... My only interest is that one. That's my only interest. My only interest is to pop up with the police. At the court, pop up with the police. In your residences, in your locations, summon you on the site, interrogate you, ask you whether you know me or you don't know me, for your answers not know me, arrest you, jail you, till you recall about making my life a little bit easier. That's the only thing I'm interested. I'm not even interested in identifying you anymore. You are too many identified scum. You and I identify you as a scum. I don't identify you as allies, as my friends, as whatever. This shit have gone too far with you. You're in it for yourself. You're in it for rebates. You're in it for something else. You're not in it to help. You're in it to murder, to kill. To kill the time, and you killed 53 years of time here. I don't need you anymore. I don't need your help anymore. Your help is not appreciated. I don't care about your help. You're useless, completely useless in the process. I know they told you that you cannot interfere, that you're not allowed to interfere. I understand all that stuff. We heard about all that stuff. I completely understand. Talk to yourself about that stuff. I'm not interested in knowing. Your job as a citizen is simple. Report crime, smuggling, human trafficking, torture, poisoning, spine breaking, trauma, torture to police, to nearest law enforcement agencies. For those not wanting to take your complaint, your job is very simple, because that is the ultimate proof about a rigged system, about a rigged justice, is to contact person in question. That's basically, in that case, that was me. None of you had done it for 53 years. So I have no fucking idea how you see these things. What you see is, but I'm not interested in knowing. Vladimir Putin claimed, suggested during MKUltra that he would also nuke the city where I am from, in the city of the Novo Mesto. But it became apparent that he was doing this at the request of Milan Kučan, Borut Pahor, etc., so that he would voice the importance of keeping me killed. Basically giving you, scum, giving yourself the right to the silence, giving you, scum, in America, in Britain, and in Germany, and in France, and in Italy, and all over. You, scum, giving yourself also the right to keep silent because of the Putin, right? It was because of the Putin, right? And at the same time, I had Zelensky talking to me inside of this house, how with Americans, how the first, it's going to be in Moscow that's going to be hit, with 2 other cities also on the list, and it will be small nuclear bombs, just enough to alert, to give a clear sign that the war is over and that Russians have to move out. You gave yourself a strange privileges, and I am not your believer. I'm your denier. I don't like you, motherfuckers. I don't like you anyway. You are a creed of assassins, killers, scum, a fog of death, basically. That cause nothing other than harm, evil. You are the worst scum that the world have ever seen. I'm gonna show you, motherfuckers, who and what you are. United States of America, the country of the brave and free. I'm gonna show you where actually in this world do you belong to. Because the way you do it, I think any country could do the same way. I don't think that there is a country out there that in the way you do it, the way you do the stuff, at other people's expense and stuff, this isn't a difficult thing to do. Anybody could do that. Anybody could do that. You just have to rattle with the weapons hard enough for people to take you for real, basically. That's all there is to it. I was just gonna upload this kind of stuff. I was just gonna do it. And I see here 100-year-old George catches his last fish. Look at that. Check this out. Check this video out.
You walk to the point where...
Why, you motherfuckers, murderers, scummy. Let me explain to you, fucks. Vladimir Putin talked about immortality not too long ago, no? That's gonna be, I don't know what kind of medications, yeah, that's what they love to fantasize. They fantasize about magical, all kinds of stuff that will keep you alive, that you will just, and the swine kidney transplants and all kinds of stuff. They talked, fantasize in my face. If you will talk about this, it's no good, but you will be sorry. You will live up to, you will live up to 140, 200, and you will not. Well, you will look in the back, you will, with Americans, you will regret that you did not, like this. I don't have any kind of regrets. I don't live for regrets. This is an educated video. This is an educated video. This is the video that demonstrates about who I am. I'm a nobody, a nothing, who can come and he can tell you that, you know, like the stuff I told you in this video. Stuff that, based on loss of 53 years, based on a total denial to the right to the police, based on the total denial to the right to the psychiatrists, based on the total denial of the right to United Nations, to European Commission, to the court in Strasbourg, to the Europol and Interpol and US Justice Department of State Civil Rights Division, and etc., etc. I'm an individual who just comes out like this out of nowhere. And I just tell you just basically like this. And there is not only that nothing you can do, because there is not a fucking thing you can do. There is nothing you can do. This is all legal. Everything that I state in this video is like, pooey, legal, everything. If you were king, you couldn't do that. If you were king, you couldn't do the stuff that I just did in this video. And this is not about what I can and what I cannot. This is about my choice of not being your goat. This is about my fucking explaining you motherfuckers that the person whom you have captured, the person who you have tortured, disagreed with you. I was not in a consensus with you. I did not agree to be tortured. You understand? You fucking scum? I did not, and I do not agree with anything, with any one of you, whatever you have to say. Nothing. Zero. This is what this shit is about. I don't care about the man over there, the poor guy and this and that. I don't give a three fuck. I don't give a three fuck about your hospitals. Oh, we got the best hospitals. We got this, we got, I don't know what the fuck you have. The thing is, I don't want to see you scum. Any of those hospitals. I'm not interested in your transplants. I'm not interested in your garbage, whatever you scum have to offer. That's what this shit is all about. This is about you, and this is about me. This is about me making it all the way to explain about who you are. The world I subsisted for 53 years. Now that's about you lying on a YouTube, presenting yourself as intelligent, as intellectual, as elegant, as wealthy, as I don't know what the fuck you present yourself with. I don't care. I just give you right now the definition for the schizophrenia, definition for the paranoia and for the schizophrenia, for the psychiatrists that crave so much. Isn't it fucking sad that you push me to this type of circumstances, that your violence, the degree of your violence actually equals and so far exceeds the thesis written by the psychiatrists that equal to mental illness. You are a fucking scum that the world had not seen. Unprecedented scum. World have seen, but the world did not publicly heard about. World was not told this and this and how it is. This I want to know the world. This is the way it is. And I want the world to understand. You scum, you set the standards. You wanted to have it this way. It wasn't me. You did it. You pushed it all the way. And I respond to you. I respond to you like a human being. I disagree. I do not agree. And I cancel you entirely. You're fucking canceled. You fucking canceled at FBI and CIA and European Court and all of you who are involved in this stuff. A lot of lies you told me, a lot of stuff you told me with Ursula von der Leyen, you're literally laughing in my face, gesturing me, oh well, you know, if you're going to be talking some kind of stuff that's not going to be, yeah, you mean the kind of stuff that you brainwash me to look like a schizophrenic, to look like a paranoid. That's the kind of stuff you meant. Lies. Lies that you introduced. Mount Everest of lies. 90% of stuff that went on were lies. 10% was the truth. Now you go and you compare the blog and you're going to see at least 90% of stated on my blog is fact. 10% maybe is a mistakes. I don't agree with you. I don't have nothing to do with you. Fuck your 100-year-old man with the fishing rod, the last one that he caught. Whatever, he might live to 100. I might live to 200. Whatever the fuck I might live. You didn't have the right. This is the point. You didn't have the right. You had absolutely any kind of right. I disagree with you. I do not consent. I don't agree on any issue you had to say. That's what this shit is all about. You lied, you lied, you lied, you lied, you lied. Putin, actually, you hired Putin even to lie on your behalf. So that you could lie more, so that you could cheat more, so you could kill more innocent people. And just look at the stuff that you did in Gaza, scum. I don't agree with you. I don't agree nothing with you. I have nothing to do with you. I don't agree with any issue on you. I'm an American citizen, naturalized American citizen. I'm ashamed of being an American citizen. I'm ashamed of proclaiming myself, seeing myself based on the stuff that I have gone through as a part of the country that was in it exactly for 53 years for the stuff that I talked about in this video and other stuff that I exposed on the... You're fucking disgusting, people. You're fucking disgusting. It's not about the perversion, about the perverted justice. It's about the common collective attitude. It's about you. It's about you, the people who you believe together with your patrons that you can get it done. You can just go and you can just lie and you can just pose over there with the silence and etc. and pretend like you are doing something when in fact I recall you scum, you were even talking to me that maybe this is going to be too much and this and that. Fuck you. Fuck your civil rights. Fuck you. Fuck everything that you have to say about that pertains to whatever you see yourself in. Because I don't see myself in anything. I don't care about you. Fuck you. The whole case was nothing other than about fucking lying, thuggery, criminality, theft of life, and killing, destroying absolutely everything, every aspect in my life. That's what this is, That's what this video is about. This video, stark warning about you scum. I don't agree, I don't consent to anything, I don't see myself absolutely in any way in you. In none of you. I don't care. The biggest crime of your owners was not pedophilia. In the case of Epstein, that's not the biggest crime of your owners, of your royals, of your Illuminatis, of your billionaires, millionaires. That's not the biggest crime. That's not the biggest crime at all. The biggest crime, you know what it was? The biggest crime was many of these girls end up as prostitutes. I know another 100 girls that were just like those girls that you see over there, that went right in front of the camera to push charges against Epstein, against Prince Andrew and so on. The biggest crime is that you scum, super wealthy scum, you wanted to kill them. You wanted to get rid of them. This is the fucking biggest crime. The biggest crime is that you did not care about the people that you slept with. And you're talking about the children here. You're talking about those that were so young and they allow you most personal, it's the most personal. Sexuality actually is the most personal thing that applies to the human being. If you want to share with somebody, you can share with a person as much as sexual relationship. This is as far as it goes. Actually, except if it's for the MK Ultra, it's even more personal thing in this world. That's basically sharing with you people like I did what is through the subconscious, my subconscious. It's actually even more personal. It gets even much more personal than sexual relationship far, far, much more personal, especially under my circumstances, the way this stuff was done. And the only way that you returned to me, the way you returned to me was by basically doing your best to get me killed through the psychiatric hospitalization. Just remember what you started to do in 2006, 2007, 2008, how you wanted to push me out of America that I left in 2006, and how obsessed you were to get me killed. It took you 6 years to get me into the psychiatric hospital in 2012. How much torture that you involved in it. And you didn't stop. You continue to torture. You continue to do all you possibly could to get me killed. Threw me second time in 2015. Make me twice run from home without already have nothing to live for. It wasn't enough. You understand? It's not about the crime itself that you commit. In your case, scum, that's why I cancel you. You understand? There's nothing between you and me. We don't have nothing in common here, other than what I stated in this video. It goes way, way, way past perverse, you call it perverse justice. I see that now on the internet. It's the sign, the perverted justice. Fuck you all. Fuck you. This is not about the perverse justice. This is about much more than that. This is about what exactly you are built, what exactly you're made of. And if you prove me one single thing on my blog that is unreal, that is doubt, that just could be doubt, you try to fucking prove me, scum. Why do you keep... Hey, I'm not gonna go into that stuff. Stuff that I declared on my blog, everything is proven with the facts. Explained beyond doubt. Yet you continue to depict yourself like, wow. Like, what the fuck is so wow about you, scum? What exactly is so wow about? Nothing really is so wow about you. There is nothing wow about you. And you need to come to terms that there is nothing so special about you. You scum are nothing special. You're very bad people. You're very bad people. You're extremely, extremely bad people. I have to say to you that as a people, as a human beings, you are a scum like I did not even know exists in this world.